I was recently in the Houston and also Dallas, Texas area, and while I was down there, I did a little bit of shopping. I wasn't so bad on the makeup end, but I was a little bad on the perfume end, and I bought a bag. Via Instagram, you guys wanted to see what I got, so I'm gonna film that today. And I also, my haul pile like is building up. I know I've been like slacking on the videos, but like it's just been really busy around here. So anyway, let's jump into the haul stuff. I was in Dillard's and they had a display for the Artiste brushes, and I had wanted to order one, I think on Saks for a while, and I just kind of kept putting it off. And there was a chance I was able to feel them and test them out and see what kind of size that I wanted. So I went ahead and I picked up the Elite Collection Mirror Finish Artiste Oval 8 brush. And the packaging on this is really nice, so it's housed in there. And I think you guys have probably seen this for a while. I kind of thought this one was a little big for my face. There is a bigger one, the number 10, which is like, it's like that. The bristles are synthetic. It's really, really soft and very, very dense. I tried to use it with Bare Minerals powder foundation because that's what I had brought with me. Side note, I've discovered, because I've used Dr. Jart Premium BB Beauty Balm for so long, and I love that stuff. I love the coverage, I love the finish, but I've discovered that dimethicone silicones congest my skin, like, and dimethicone and silicone is in everything. So I've been weeding out the silicone and dimethicone products, and I can already tell the difference in the congestion of my skin, so that's great. But anyway, I brought that powder foundation, and so I wanted to use this. And it says you can use it with powder, and I dipped in the Bare Minerals and kind of worked it in there, and then tried to start buffing it on my face, and it's just too dense for a product like that to go on. It kind of clumps up and then moves around, if that makes any sense. I feel like to get a really streak-free finish with a powder foundation, you need a little bit more of a fluffy, loose brush. This is just really, really dense to buff in mineral foundation. That's the only way I've tried it thus far. I'm still searching for a nice BB cream that is silicone and dimethicone free. If you know, with high SPF. If you guys know of any, I'd love to have your recommendations down below. But I did pick this up. As soon as I find a BB cream to use it with, I'll try it with a liquid. Then I moseyed on over to the Lancome counter, and for some reason down there, the only place that I could find these liners was at Dillard's at the time. I've seen them online everywhere, but they're the Lancome Grandiose eyeliner, blendable eyeliners, and these are supposed to be high precision, long wear, infinite matte finish. The fact that they're in a well like this, I thought that it was going to be great to get enough product on the applicator and just be quick to put on my eyes. Now if you like a thin line, like really close to the lash line, you might really, really like these, but I prefer a little bit thicker line, and I have to go over them several times. The black one is probably the best in terms of opacity. The blue and the brown are really beautiful, like the finishes once you finally get them on, but you have to make several passes over your eyes, which that I don't like. The packaging is really, really cute, and the special thing about these is they tip like this so that it's supposed to make it easier to put on your eyeliner. However, I use a straight applicator all the time, so I prefer it in the straight method. And then also, I was hoping that these would be the liners that were gonna withstand my watery allergy eyes, because they run outside right here, and then for some reason it gets up in here and my liner just disappears. So sad to say they didn't hold up with my allergy eyes, but they wear pretty good. And you're also supposed to shake them up pretty well. There's like a little ball in there before you put them on. So this first one is the black one, and I think this one again is the best in terms of opacity. I feel like if they would have never used, this is a felt tip, if they would have turned that into a brush because it could get in the bristles a little bit easier, I think it would have been able to pick up more product. But it's a felt tip applicator, but you can see it is pretty, the black one is pretty opaque. This next one is number 2 Brune Mirifique. It's the brown one. They're swatching really good there, but I tend to put my eyeliners over an eyeshadow that's already on my lid. And then the last one is 03 Saphir Mirifique, which is the blue one. And I was wearing this one in my last video. Again, I really like how it looks on the eyes and the finish of it, but to get it on like that and that colorful, I had to make a few passes. They're swatching on my hand a little bit better than how I'm describing them, but again, when I put them on my eyes, I do have like eyeshadow underneath, and unfortunately, my eyes aren't this smooth about my eyelids. So then I went down to the Galleria in Houston, and they had just put up a new Saks, and that's kind of where we parked. And when I walked in the doors, it was right kind of into the beauty department. And I've been to a lot of malls, a lot of big stores and stuff, and that's probably one of the most beautiful beauty floors I have ever seen. And I feel like they had everything. I did stop at the MAC counter. It was kind of on the door as you're headed into the rest of the mall. And I saw the new display with the bowling pins. I can't strike. It's a strike, I think, collection. And I purchased the Pearl Matte face powder. It's called Trophy. I'd seen some swatches online, and then also my buddy Rachel said that it was a good one. So I purchased this guy, and I used it twice for a highlighter. The lighter portion is raised off the pink, so I don't know once I work that higher raised part and get more into the pink, you know, if it'll deepen up in color or not. But I do really like this. The texture of this is really nice. Get a little pink in there. So that is the Pearl Matte face powder in Trophy. And then the guy working there, he was a good salesman. He talked me into these two products. One of them is a Dazzle Shadow, and it's in the shade Say It Isn't So. And I packed this over a sticky base on my lid, and it was pretty. But because it's got, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's got some dimension to it. It's got like a purple and a pink and then some gray to it, which is really pretty. But, and it looked pretty on the lid, but I expected a little bit more dimension on. So that's the Dazzle Shadow and Say It Isn't So. And it's alright. I'm not head over heels for it, but it's alright. And then he also got me to buy one of the new fluid pens that's also in the It's a Strike collection. And I purchased the shade Indelibly Blue. It's like a dark navy shade, and right away the next day I used this because I was just so excited to use. Oh wow, you can kind of see there, but I had to go over my eye so many times. The color is beautiful, but I had to go over my eye so many times like this to get even a thin line on there that by the time I was done getting a thicker line and a wing, I had just like, I'm not doing this on the other eye. And I just broke out my black liner and went over it. But this is not good. I am not impressed with these at all. But the color is really pretty. This is kind of funny, but we drove down to Texas, and so I brought my little bag full of empties to take to MAC so I could back to MAC them. A lot of people were like, don't throw away your lipsticks in the declutter video, the MAC declutter video that I did. And I kept them for when I was finally able to make it to a counter to back to MAC them. And I finally did it. And I got 6 lipsticks, 2 Snobs, which this is one of my favorite MAC lipsticks. I have this on my lips today with a lip liner from Lorac. I wanted some other shades, so I didn't like double up, but they're like, nope, we're out of that, we're out of that, we're out of that. So I was like, well, just give me 2 of the Snob. And then I also, same thing with Cream Cup, which is another one of my favorite lipsticks from MAC. So I got 2 of the Cream Cup shades, which I usually have Cream Cup always in my bag. And the other 2 shades, which I've never owned before, is a Cream Sheen, and this is in Peach Blossom. It's kind of another nudie peach shade. And it is a Cream Sheen finish, which is one of my favorite finishes from MAC. And the last one is a Glaze, and it's in the shade Hue. And I've heard quite a bit about this one on YouTube, so I finally purchased it. Boy, those kind of they have a little theme going on there. I purchased one of the Pro Longwear lip pencils in good timing, and I feel like they've changed the formula on these because some of my older, or some of them aren't that old, but maybe like a couple months ago old, they really dried like too much on the outside of the lips, where if your lipstick wore off you just had a ring of lip liner around, which I mean you could fill them in, but it slightly dried out the lips and kind of you could see the lines in them. But this one doesn't do that, and it's, yeah, in the shade Good Timing, and this is so beautiful with, it's good with almost all the colors that I just swatched, but In particular, it's beautiful with Snob and also the Patent Polish Lip Pencil in Look Lively. Oh, stunning. But I really like this pencil a lot and the color is beautiful. They had a Makeup Forever boutique in one of the malls that I went to in Dallas, and I saw a concealer there that I hadn't seen before, like on Sephora or where else sells Makeup Forever. I haven't seen the concealer in any event, and it's called the Lift Concealer, and the shade that I got is in the shade 1, which matches me really well, and the consistency of it, it's pretty thin. It's got, like, I would say a medium, this is what the tube looks like right here. It's got like a, I would say, light to medium type of a coverage, but it's really, really smooth feeling. Oh, I guess it got, well, this has a pink undertone and it just went really well with my skin tone. When I set it with like the RCMA No Color Powder, you could hardly tell that there was anything underneath my eyes. So I've been playing with this and I've worn it a few times and so far I've liked it. What I really love about it is the tone of it. It's got a nice light pink undertone. So that's the Makeup Forever Lift Concealer in the shade 1. I said that I didn't buy that much makeup, but now that I'm like showing it all that I purchased, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a lot of makeup. I made it to Estee Lauder and I purchased 2 more of the Pure Color Envy High Luster lipsticks. I hauled 2 of these, I believe, in my last haul video, and I really like these. They're sheer, but they still have color and they have a really nice shine to where it almost looks like you have a gloss on your lips without having a gloss on your lips. So I really like these. Number 220 Sheer Sin. The packaging is magnetic. So this is Sheer Sin. It's a warm pink color. And they're just, I mean, they're easy to grab and just throw on. And the other one is 330 Bad Angel. And this one is a little bit more of a, it's borderline coral. So that one is Bad Angel. Everywhere that I went down there, like all the malls, which I think I went to 4 malls down there, they were advertising this Miss Dior Absolutely Blooming everywhere. So I think I sniffed it at probably like 6 counters, and then I was like, I kind of like that. And then I put some on and walked around with it because I'm really fragrance sensitive, and it's kind of a sweet type of a smell, but it still has like, it still has a little bit of depth to it. I'm not the best at describing fragrances. All I know is I haven't liked any of the Miss Dior fragrances that have come out except for this one, and this is the newest one. Also, you only need like 1, maybe 2 squirts of this. It's really, really potent and it lasts all day. Then I was dying to find a Byredo counter, and I believe the only place that like has a counter maybe is Neiman's, because Saks didn't have a Byredo counter that I'd seen. So I purchased the Eau de Cologne in Gypsy Water, and this is the great big boy. It is 8.4 fluid ounces, and I had ordered the Gypsy Water perfume, and it was supposed to be here before we left for Texas, and it wasn't. And I really wanted this while I was down there, so I purchased this big guy because I'm obsessed. To say the least, I'm obsessed with the smell of this, and like this is pushing it. And I have a lot of fragrances that I absolutely love, but I'll go so far to say as this is my favorite fragrance ever that I've ever smelled. I'm like totally obsessed with it. It's a really intoxicating fragrance, and I feel like it just gets me, you know? If you want to look up the notes, you can always go to fragrantica.com. I'm not good with describing perfumes, but I love this. This is lighter and just slightly less sweeter and more citrusy than the perfume. They're similar but not exactly the same. I absolutely love the perfume, like, and if I were to use the perfume like I use this guy, I would blow through that bottle so fast. So I'm savoring my little bottle and I'm using this cologne. Sometimes I spray the perfume a few times and then I spray some cologne elsewhere, or like it just makes the room smell so good. The one thing about this that's kind of weird is it doesn't last very long, and maybe that's me wishing that it lasted forever. Like I just want to smell it strongly all day long. But after a while it'll wear down, and then you'll catch you'll catch yourself smelling whiffs of it here and there, which every time that I do, I'm just like, So it's a little different. I do wish that like the perfume especially lasted like strong, like the Dior. I wish that lasted all day long because I'm obsessed with the smell. I'm going on about this perfume way too much. Anyway, I purchased this big boy in Gypsy Water, the Eau de Cologne, and this is from, come on there. This is from Byredo. The bottles are super classy as well. I might as well show you guys the perfume. This is the 3.3 ounce of the perfume. Then it's got a magnetic cap. They both have magnetic caps, but love it. Then lastly, at the Galleria, Sephora is right across from Louis Vuitton. And I believe Louis Vuitton owns Sephora, which, I mean, but those two stores across from each other, for me, it's like danger zone. I had purchasing a new little bag from Louis Vuitton when I was down there. I knew I was headed down there a couple months prior, so I kind of saved up some money for it. I had a few bags in mind that I wanted to look at. I looked at the mini backpacks, which they had the light tan and the dark colored monogram canvas mixed colors, and they also had the solid dark one, and those are so cute, those little backpacks. But I was like, well, the strap's kind of long. I was just like iffy about it. And then my friend Sonia, who lives in Paris, she's like a 15-minute walk away from Louis Vuitton. If I lived that close to Louis Vuitton, that's like dangerous. But she does, and she sent me a picture of the bag that I did purchase. They had it. They had one left. And this is the one that I purchased. It's the Speedy Bandolier in the Speedy Bandolier 20 in the black Empreinte. It's obviously smaller than the Speedy 25, but it's about twice as big as the Nano Speedy. And I switched into it right away, and I've really been appreciating the larger amount of size, which you guys are probably laughing at me because it's not that big of a bag. Which, you know what's funny is when I carry around my little nano bag, the funniest thing is I get quite a few compliments from gals as well liking my little bag, but like men are like, is that your bag? Like I'm nuts that I'm a girl who's carrying a bag that's like this big. Which I always think is funny, but I'm a little big type of gal. The bandoliers do come with a strap, which you can either, you know, use it crosswise on these little deals, or they have the actual strap rings on both sides. And then they did hot stamping in the store down there. So I decided to go ahead and get it hot stamped because I feel like I'm never ever gonna part with it. And I got it in gold, so I got my initials on the key ring in gold. One of the features that I really like about it is on one side there is a pocket that fits my iPhone great. Like I can just slip it in there. It's easy to pull in and out, and I really like that feature about this bag. There isn't a pocket on the other side. It's just stitched right here, but it does have this pretty good sized pocket for like easy access type stuff. And then inside it does have a little pocket on the side where I kind of keep like my license or like easy grab type items. And then there's just like a ton of space in here. Moving on to this from the Nanos, I was just like, what else can I bring with me? Because there's so much extra room in here. But what's funny is, I'm obsessed with the Byredo, right? And I bought that big jug. I call it a jug because it's like a big old bottle of spray. And it doesn't last that long, but I wanted to smell it like all the time. And I didn't want to end up accidentally leaving it in the pickup in the heat. So I put it inside of here, and I was carrying around a big jug of Byredo cologne, Gypsy Water cologne. Anyway, I had a good time when I was down in Texas. It did rain like 70% of the time I was down there, and with the humidity, which we get really bad humidity up here, but they're just a little bit higher, and then it constantly rained, which, you know, made it even worse. And I have fine, thick, naturally curly hair, and it's like that and humidity is just a master for disaster. So I fixed my hair, and then we go out for the day, and like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So anyway, that was a disaster, but I did have fun, and I met a subscriber who worked at a Sephora down there, and I think I was in the Woodlands, and her name is Victoria. So if you're watching, hi. I've just been going on and on here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it entertaining. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.